Alright, so now that we're coming to the end of 2023, let's see which phone has the best overall camera system. I decided to primarily test at night, as typically the night setting is more stressful and will show the true capabilities in HDR of each device. Last but not least, I will use a simple point and shoot method, as this format translates to most consumers who buy these devices. Therefore, starting with the main wide-angle lens for video, both devices have their unique style. The iPhone takes a more raw stylistic look, but tends to still capture more details and ever so slightly better HDR. The S23 Ultra, on the other hand, captures a more saturated and also at times a sharper contrasted look. As for photos, when it comes to portraits, as usual, the S23 Ultra is way too saturated for my liking and not as color accurate as the iPhone here. But for landscape shots, I typically side with the S23 Ultra, as I do prefer the more vivid and colorful look. The iPhone here is playing it safe and is consistent and sticks with the more raw style, which many may not like when it comes to landscape photography. However, HDR and detail is still slightly better here with the iPhone. Moving on to the telephoto lens, I generally prefer the iPhone here in each video comparison, as the iPhone had better HDR, coloring, stability, and captured details. As for photos, for these night shots again, the iPhone had generally better HDR, captured details, and better coloring profile. But I must admit, the S23 Ultra isn't too far behind. Last but not least, for the ultra-wide video, like the telephoto, I generally preferred each iPhone shot over the S23 Ultra. This is primarily due to the better HDR, coloring profile, and capture detail. Apple really stepped up their game for the ultra-wide performance for this video. Now for photos, it's quite the opposite. The S23 Ultra did better in my opinion with each shot. The S23 Ultra had better HDR and captured details. As for coloring, usually I do prefer the more saturated look for my landscape shots. Hence, for coloring, I prefer the S23 Ultra here more than the iPhone's more raw or realistic look. Taking all of this into consideration, if we were to grade the overall camera system, the iPhone 15 Pro Max wins this camera test, which makes it one of the best in 2023. The iPhone practically won in each video category and only fell behind in the ultra-wide photography section. In my opinion, the iPhone did better in both the wide-angle and telephoto photography. However, the S23 Ultra still has its edge as it still can zoom times 100, along with those ultra-wide angle shots. Anyways, thanks for watching, and let me know which camera system you preferred in this test.